Hey there. I want to show you a tip. This is how I process big bass synths of mine that have lots of low end, mid, and high end frequencies that are pretty important. Um, you probably already know about side chaining, your bass line to your bass kick to duck your bass line when your bass kick hits. It gives you a little bit more headroom and in the mix, and also kind of glues it together. Well, sometimes you don't want to duck your whole bass line because there's all kinds of mid and high frequencies. It's gonna sound kind of odd if that all ducks together. So I like to just duck my bass frequencies at some point. And in order to do that, you need to separate your frequencies coming out of your bass line into separate channels, and then sidechain just your low frequencies. And then you can also do all kinds of neat stuff with processing your different frequencies separately with different effects and things. So that's what I'm going to show you real quick. This is a remix I'm working on, and here's my bass line. So it's a really buzzy bass. So this is probably a pretty good tip for a lot of dubstep producers and stuff like that. Alright, so I got my bass line. I want to make two different channels, one that's got my bass frequencies and one that's just got the mid and high frequencies of my bass line. So I'm going to make two separate empty audio channels. I do Control T twice. Here's my two new audio channels. I'm going to call this one bass high, bass low. Okay, and I want to make them looking for an input signal from this bass source track. I just called it bass source. You can call it whatever you want. There it is. Input bass source. Okay, let's see if we got it. Oh, and first, before we do that, I don't want my bass source track to be being outputted anymore. I just want it to only go through my two new tracks. So instead of having to go to master or anything else, I'm just going to say sends only, and I don't have it going to any sends here. So we're not going to, I was pointing at the wrong thing. I don't have any sends. It's not going out to any sends here, so we're not going to be hearing this one anymore, but we're going to hear kind of two copies of it. So it's going to be a little bit loud at first, but okay, so it's working. Now I just need to go on each of these and mid-high pass this one, low pass this one. So you can use a filter or EQ and kind of make your own curves and stuff, and you're gonna have to tweak a lot to make sure it's fairly even crossover and stuff. But for me, the easy way to do it is just use a multi-band dynamics thingamabob. Here it is. Pick it up, drop it in there. Pick it one up, drop it in here. This is just the bass configuration. It's not processing anything yet. So I don't want to hear my high right now. So this one, I basically just want to not hear high and mid channels coming through here. So I'm just hearing all the low stuff. In this particular song, I did a lot of adjusting. I mean, you can see where the cutoff is. For mine, I tweaked it around, and I felt it was best to process 151 hertz and below. It might be different for your bass lines and stuff. So I figured out that's where my crossover is. I'm going to go here, and I don't want to hear this. I want to hear these two, so I'm going to keep those on, and I'm going to make sure my crossover is still at 151. So if we just hear my high, so there we go. I've got them effectively separated. Okay, I'm going to do some stuff to the low. I'm going to do all my side chaining and some other processing. Alright, so there's this one plugin that I really like. It's called Exoscope by Smart Electronics. It's free. All it does is show you the waveform that's going through that channel. So there's my bass. When I turn on this amp, it doesn't make any sound, it just lets me see it better. So I've kind of got, it's like peaking a little bit. This is probably just relevant to this certain bass line that I have here, but I don't like that peaking. I want to smooth it out so things are a little bit more predictable and smooth. So I just want to put a quick easy limiter on it. I'm going to put it in front of my exoscope so I can see how I'm affecting it. And I'm just going to pull down the ceiling on it and flatten out these peaks here. Okay, so that's pretty smooth. I like that. Now I'm going to apply my sidechaining on my kick drum. Alright, so I'm just going to get a normal compressor. Again, put it in front of my exoscope. Pop this out, hit the sidechain. If you don't know how to sidechain from a kick, I'm sure there's good tutorials on that all over YouTube. So I'm just going to go through it real quick. My drum beat track is this one, D beat, and I want to pick up, it's a drum rack, I want to pick up just my kick rack that I have for pre-FX. And so as you can see, there's my kick acting. Bring my attack down. I like FF1. Okay, so you can see this gap. This is making a pretty good reduction when the kick is hitting. Let's find my D beat. Here it is. So I think that's sounding pretty good. Alright, and one thing to do, now that since I've got my low end isolated, it's generally good to have all your bass frequencies all mono, because phasing down at those registers can really mess stuff up. Some other people can probably explain that better than me, but things are going to work better if it's mono down here. So you can just pull the utility, probably put it anywhere, it's not a big deal, and bring the width down to 0. So my low is now mono, and I can do cool stuff with my high. Now that I have it separate, I can widen this, which is very nice. I can use utility to widen. I like to use simple delay, which is right here. Make sure dry wet's up, sync with time. Make one channel 15 milliseconds slower than the other. So now I've got a pretty cool bass synth that's wide, but mono where it needs to be down in the bottom. It's ducking with the kick, but just in the bass. So I've got a lot of headroom. It's glued together well, and I like it. So there's my selective sidechaining tutorial.